Transit. How are we doing this morning? We're doing good. Come on. Real quick, before we get going any further, I just want to say thank you. Before we get going any further, if you are in sixth grade, we are so glad that y'all are here. We are so glad that you're a part of Transit. That's right. You can give yourselves a round of applause. It's amazing. And if you are, for the first time here in 7th or 8th grade, and you're jumping in this thing, or it is your first time in a long time, this is an amazing week to be able to join back here in Transit, because we are kicking off a brand new series, the Classic Summer, Back to the Basics. And so we are going to kind of like launch you into a summer, not just of fun, although it is going to be fun, but also like, hey, what your role in Transit can be, and what this is going to look like, and what it means to follow Jesus. And so if we've never had the chance to meet, my name is Chad Ward. I grew up at this church. I actually went to Little Mill Middle School. Do we have anybody? Mustangs, what's up? It was an okay school. I loved it. It's awesome. I'm sure it's way better now. But it's awesome. But I remember the first time that I walked into the sixth grade, that I was walking into my first period classroom, because if you don't know this yet, there are 7 classes that you are going to take. And I remember thinking, wow, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to meet friends. But I was nervous walking in on the first day, because there were some people that were like, hey, these are going to be some of my best friends, and others that like I did not know who was going to be there. In fact, one of the questions that I became obsessed with going into my 6th grade year is this one right here, is who's going? About everything. It could be school, it could be on the team that I was going to be on, it could be hanging out with friends, that you're asking like, who is going to be there? And so I remember sharing the like roster for each one of the classes, like, hey, what do you have for first period? Hey, what do you have for third period? And so I walked into my first period class at Little Mill Middle School. And in there was like not really that many people that I knew, but there was one person that stood out for me, and there was a girl that was in my class, and yeah, whatever. And so there's a girl in my class. And I remember thinking like, oh my goodness, like we sat next to each other, we were talking, and I'm not going to say what her name is for the sake of confidentiality, so let's call her Taylor Swift. And so I was sitting in class next to Taylor Swift. Quote me on that. And so that period ends, I'm done with first period, and then I go into second period, and you know who is sitting in that class? Y'all are smart. So she was in my second period class. I'm like, all right, let's go. Go into third period. Taylor Swift. By the end of the day, somebody's about to give their life to Christ. By the end of the day, we get through 7 periods at Little Mill Middle School, and Taylor Swift was in every single class I had, which part of me was like, is there a God like that? What does that mean? And then I was beginning to ask like, okay, is there somebody in the counseling office that was like trying to get us to get married? So we had every single class in 6th grade year. 15 years later, you want to know what happened? I have no idea what she's doing in life, but we actually became friends throughout middle and high school. She was cool. And it was awesome in my 6th grade year knowing that I was going to class. Like, hey, I had a friend on the first day of school. I had a friend on the second day of school. And we eventually were a part of the same friend group, all that good stuff. But it brought up those feelings of moments then in 7th grade, in 8th grade, going on into high school, where I was not always that lucky whenever I knew the people that I was walking into class with. And maybe you felt this too. Whenever you knew that somebody awesome was going to be there, that one of your best friends was going to be there, it can make even things that are not that fun the place to be. That it's like, man, I got a root canal, but a crew's going to be there, so it's going to be sick. And so it's like, man, I have a good people. There's going to be a good hang. It's like, you could do something so boring, but if your friends are going to be there, that is a big deal. Who's going? The people that you know love you. The people that you know notice you. The people that you know are going to make sure that you have a good time, and the opposite can also be true. That you could be on the way to watch your favorite team play, watch your favorite football team play, or go to a concert for your favorite artist, but if you find out on the way that the people that you were going to go with, that they canceled, that they bailed, and you're going with people that you don't know, or even worse, you do know, And they're people that you feel like you got to perform around, or it's like you feel like they bring out the insecurities in you, or you don't even know if they like you. All of a sudden, you find yourself in a place of going like, hey, who's going? Oh, they're going. I don't know if I want to go anymore. That you can find yourself going away from the things that would be awesome and the things that actually could be worthwhile because of the people that are there. That who is there, who is going, has the potential to make you enjoy things that are not that great, but then also want to miss out on things that could be totally worth it. Maybe you've never even phrased it this way, but have you ever had something to go to and then you found yourself thinking, man, I don't want to go because I don't know. Because I don't know who's going to be there. I don't know. Maybe for you, it's I don't know if I'll have a good time. That you found yourself going, man, I don't know if I'm going to go there because I don't know if I'm going to have a good time. Maybe for some of us in the room, that's what you thought about transit this morning. That you found yourself going to transit, and maybe it's not even because you're in 6th grade and starting a brand new year, but you're a 7th grader or an 8th grader, and you're like here for the first time in a long time. And you're like, man, I don't know if I'm going to go or if I want to go because I don't know if I'm going to have a good time. Or maybe it wasn't about having a good time because you're like, man, it's always fun, but I don't know if I'm going to make friends there. That I don't want to go because I don't know if I'll make friends there. That you, like me, going into middle school, that you're obsessed with like, man, who is going to be the person that will see me, that will notice me? That I don't feel like I'm a loner because maybe for you, you thought this morning, I don't know if I'm going to go because I don't know if I'll be alone. That we would rather not put ourselves in uncomfortable positions than find ourselves alone whenever everybody else feels like they have somebody. And if that is you this morning, or you're sitting there going, hey, that's not me, but that is one of my friends, that they constantly are feeling like, hey, are they going to be seen and noticed? That it can make us begin to feel feelings of like, man, I'm going to miss out on potentially something awesome in transit because I don't know if I'm going to make friends. I don't know if I'm going to be alone. Whenever I talk to a lot of students in transit or inside out, and I ask them, hey, how is transit today? How is inside out today? More often than not, you want to know what they say? They say good or bad, and it's not because of the message. It's not because of the songs that we sing in worship. It's not because of the game that was played. No, the reason why they say, hey, that was a great Sunday, or man, that wasn't the best, typically is because of who was there and whether or not they connected with somebody. And so this idea of connecting with other people and not being alone and being noticed, that if you are sitting with your small group, actually the thing that we are built on is that you don't just come here and like listen to something or sing something, but you actually have a group that you get to do life with. And that there were people in the early church, whenever churches were just getting launched, the very first churches, that there were people that met in groups just like these. That it might have looked a little bit different, but they were meeting together weekly, doing life with each other. And that there were people, for a lot of different reasons, that had begun to give up, that had begun to think, hey, is this worth it? And so if you are that, it's like, man, I don't know if I'm going to stick it out. I don't know if I'm going to give up. I feel like I am putting myself out there to even be here this morning. That you could actually relate to what it was that they're walking through, that we read the writer in the book of Hebrews talks about the gathering of groups there in the early church. So in Hebrews chapter 10, we read this. And let us consider us being the people at church. Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. And here's the point, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. You want to know the reason that the writer of Hebrews includes this? Is because there were people left and right that were giving up. That he would not have written this if this was like a non-issue. But the thing is that people found themselves giving up for a lot of different reasons. Because it was difficult, because life got crazy, because I'm on my own doing this. But here's the thing that the people who give up, the people that are in the habit of giving up, the thing that they miss out on, one, is that they miss out on the love and good deeds. You see, one of the main reasons that we gather together as the church is that you have an opportunity to be able to encourage other people in your group and to be encouraged by people in your group. To be spurred on, to be kind of pointed in another direction, in the right direction by the people to your left and your right. And so, if transit for you has kind of just been the place that you go on Sundays because it's where your family goes, or the place that you go because it is where your friend group, but it isn't really like you just kind of meet, go home, and then just kind of leave it there on Sunday mornings. That actually this can be the blueprint, that this can be kind of the picture that is painted as to what your small group can look like. That what would it look like if each and every week that you showed up to transit, that you had a group of guys or you had a group of girls that were encouraging one another, that we're encouraging one another in life, that we're encouraging one another in your faith, that we're encouraging one another whenever times are great, encouraging one another whenever times are difficult. That you had a group of people that you were able to see the love and good deeds, yeah, sure, in your own life, but then also there are other people out in the world that are counting on you because of the way that God is going to love them through you. And so what is it that the writer of Hebrews is saying of like, hey, don't give up on meeting together? Is essentially this. He's saying, hey, don't give up on showing up. Don't give up on showing up. That's step one for being able to be a part of a community that encourages one another. Step one of being in a place that spurs one another on towards love and good deeds is to not give up on showing up literally on Sunday mornings. And more often than not, I don't know what it is that like middle of the week you're not thinking about it, but for some reason, whether it's on Saturday night or on Sunday morning, that those are the moments that you may begin to feel like, man, is anybody gonna notice me? Am I even wanted there? How am I gonna fit in? But let me tell you, on the other side of those uncomfortable feelings, in just saying, hey, I'm not gonna give up, that the 8th graders that just left to go in the 9th grade, if you were to ask any single one of them that continued to stick with it, that did not give up by the end of their 8th grade year, looking back at all that God did during their transit years, whether that was 1 year or 3 years, they would say it was completely worth it. So don't give up on showing up. And there's 2 parts to this. The first of which of what you can do moving forward, sure, is to show up. But the second one is not just to show up physically, but to open up when you're here. That if you're here, you might as well go all in anyway. If you're here, you might as well engage in worship and in group. That whenever you're here, you might as well open up to the people in your small group about what is really going on in your heart. That every single person in this room, that you actually have a choice to make. And I don't know whether or not you know that you have a choice to make. That you can just show up on Sunday mornings and just kind of coast. And if that's where you're at, that's fine. That's okay. Nobody is going to even really call you out on that. We're really, really glad that you're here, but you're here anyway. Why not go all in? That if you're going to be here and show up, you might as well open up. And if not to your entire group at some point, that's why we have amazing leaders, or maybe there's that one friend in your group that's like, hey, I need to open up about what's really going on in my heart, about what I really do think about God, that you might be sitting here going, hey, I don't even really know what I think about faith, but I want a group of people that love me well. That there's no better place for you to navigate the questions that you have about Jesus and God and the church and everything in between than right here in your transit group. But that's not going to happen if you don't open up. So the challenge, and it might seem simple, and you might be like, hey, I already show up every single week. Hey, I've already navigated that with the people in my group. I've already opened up. That you have a responsibility to do that for yourself. And you have and it's a great one, a responsibility to make sure that your group is a safe place for other people, everyone. Whether it's the person you get along with or the person you don't. The person you hang out with every single week outside of here, or the person you don't. The person who has been a part of your transit group since week 1, or the person who is brand new this Sunday. That you have the opportunity to be able to make this group a place that they feel safe to open up. And when they open up, that you are going to actually listen to what they're saying, that you're not having the side conversation and laughing, but you're locked in on what they're saying. It's like, hey man, I hear you. Hey, I go through that as well. Oh my gosh, that was an amazing point that you made. Hey, that was a great question. That you have the opportunity to be able to do that for other people in your group. And so the 2 things that we're going to talk about in group is what it means to show up and then also to open up. I am going to pray for 6th graders. Y'all are going to stay in the room. And then 7th and 8th graders, y'all are going to be good to go to group after I'm done praying. But y'all shoulder up with the person next to you and then let's pray together. Heavenly Father, Thank you so much for this new class of students, for the sixth graders that are in here. God, I pray over the next 3 years, God, that you would just continue to watch over them, that you would bless them, God, that this would be the very best. God, thank you so much for their small group leaders that signed up to be able to do this. We are just so grateful for all the time they are spending. God, I thank you for the seventh grade groups that now have a year under their belt and are now going back through this again. God, it is amazing that over the course of the next several months that they'll reach the halfway moment of middle school. And God, it is awesome just even to see all that has happened and having a group that walks through us, even some of the difficult parts of that. And God, I thank you for the eighth grade groups, that in one last year here in middle school, God, I pray that they would make the most of it, that they would be the leaders here in transit, that transit would be better because of the way that they show up and lead the way for the rest of the classes. God, thank you so much for this place. Thank you for what you're doing. God, we love you. And all of transit said, Amen.